Buying, fixing, and flipping a property for profit. I get this question asked by clients who are interested in investing in real estate and they see it on the HGTV and other shows happening, and they get excited and they like to learn a little bit more about this. Hi, this is Asif Qadir of Remax Premier Selections. Welcome to the Asif Qadir Show Ask an Expert series. I get this question asked by clients who are looking into it. They have seen a family member or a friend successfully buy, fix, and sell a home for profit, or they watch these TV shows. I've been selling real estate in DC metro area for 20 years, and I've been involved in many successful scenarios where the clients or myself, we acquired property and we improved it and sold it for profit. There are several different things that you need to consider before you decide if this is the right thing for you to do. I get a call the other day. I received a call, and my past client and a good friend said, hey, me and a couple of my friends think this is a really cool thing to do. We can buy something, fix it, and sell it and make money. I said, okay, great, let's talk more about that. So people think if you buy something for 200,000, for example, and you sell it for 300,000, you made it. It doesn't work like that. And unfortunately, a lot of these TV shows are scripted, and they obviously don't show you the details, right? So when we sat down and we talked more about this, and I've had these conversations with many different interested buyers who were looking into the possibility of making a quick profit per se, and didn't understand the complexity of the process and the expertise it requires, the time, the patience, and also all the pitfalls, the things that can go wrong with a transaction, and you can get stuck. So in this case, my friend said he and three of his friends, they are pretty handy. They're all working professionals, and they will just go in there and fix it up themselves. And I don't doubt that they have the ability, but when I discussed and how will it work, the timeline, neither one of them wanted to go through with the process, because their main job is their employer, the employment, and then also they have families and they like their lifestyle. They love their lifestyle. Now, discussing and going through the steps for this process. First thing first is the acquisition cost. Once you have a right seasoned real estate person helping you based upon what you're trying to do, to scope out the potential properties that might fit that mold, you have to calculate your acquisition costs. There will be cost of buying the home, plus any closing costs, taxes, anything else that you have to pay in order to get the keys. Sometimes we acquire homes, they have a lot of furniture in there, so we have to get a crew and get a dumpster to remove everything and clean it up, so we can actually start the process of demolition and other steps. So we have case by case basis. You have to look into all that. What is required to acquire? How much is required? And then what other steps you have to take to get the property ready so you can start the project. Is the property currently rented out? Is it bank owned? Are there any other issues going on, or any of the steps that we have to take that might cost you time and or money? Now, from acquisition costs, then you have to look into the renovations costs, right? And the timeline associated with that. In today's market, all cost of materials have gone up significantly. So you have to have a really close estimate on that. Also, the time it will take. With the supply chain being clogged these days, things are taking much longer, way longer to come in. What if you were trying to time the market, buy something, and then quickly go through the renovations process if you had the right team and professionally get it done and put this back in the market to make a profit, and you didn't go down this route, and it took you much longer because they don't do this for a living, so they sort of like doing it for fun project. Took much longer to get it fixed, and if they did it themselves, it was not professionally done. It wouldn't show as well as the others. The other people who in comparison hired professionals to come into the job, and also the time it took to buy the materials and go through the whole thing. So renovations costs have gone up, so you have to look into that closely, per square foot cost or material of the materials that you're looking into. And then holding costs from the time that you acquire. If you're going to finance it or you paid cash for it, your holding cost, property taxes, insurance, utilities, homeowners association dues, if there's any, if you finance it, the mortgage companies, your payments, right? So that will have to be taken into consideration. Once the property is ready to be listed for sale, are you going to stage it? There's cost that comes associated with that. Photography, videography, depending on who you work, who the real estate professional is, and what steps do they suggest that you have to take. And then the cost of paying the fees and so forth. So resale costs come into that category. And then once you have successfully closed the transaction, your title company's fees and so forth, everything, all of those line items come under the resale cost. Now that you have successfully sold and you have some profit, you have to look into the tax liability. If it's a short-term gain, as per my accountant, I always have conversations with him, and short-term gain is about 30-35% tax at 30-35%, depending on your tax bracket, but that's what he suggests always, to put that aside. So if you have acquired the property at X plus your renovations cost, holding cost, resale cost, you have net proceeds from the sale, approximately 30% of that might be going to the IRS to pay the capital gains tax on a short-term gain. So this is how we need to look at that and then see if it is worth going through the hassle of the project that you're looking at. So just by looking at buying at, say, for example, 200,000 and selling at 300,000, $100,000 profit, people don't know what they're looking into. They need to do some research, hire the right professional. It is a great business to be in, don't get me wrong, but if you do not understand how it works, you will lose. You will have a big loss, and also it will be very stressful. So if you're looking into investing in real estate, looking into buying and improving homes and selling for profit, or buying and tearing down and building a new product, I have the resources available for you. I have all the professionals, from accountants, attorneys, builders, all the professionals who will be needed, all the stakeholders and people who will be needed to do this, and walk you through this process. All these professionals are in my network. So give us a call. Let's set up a Zoom call or in-person meeting to learn a little bit more about what you're trying to do and bring some options to you. 301-674-7812. I look forward to talking to you soon.